Class Prof JC here. I love what we're going to talk about today because it's something that I believe in deeply. But before I get into it, I just want to say, hey, we are in the home stretch. We are in the home stretch. When we were putting together the work for next week, I realized that all the work that you're going to do this week, it's all due in August. We're finally made it to August. It seemed like we started this class, I think it was back in May, if I'm correct, right? And August seems so far away. And here we are, we're now in August. And so stay at it, everybody. I know some of you on this call, you're getting real close to graduating, okay? And so for those of you who are getting real close to graduating, do not give up. Don't throw in the towel. Don't start backing down now, okay? I think one of the marks, the hallmarks of a great leader, okay? I think consistent, we talked about that, being consistent. That's better than anything, okay? But I think in addition to being consistent is somebody who ends well, finishes well, okay? This is a master's degree program. You're never going to have to do another, some of you might get another master's degree or go on and get a doctorate, and I'm very proud of that. That's very exciting. But you'll never have to take this master's degree ever again, okay? So finish strong, okay? Don't leave anything on the field. Don't, you get to next April and you look back and you say, man, I could have done that a lot better. Don't do that, okay? Of course, the most important thing is you get that degree on the wall. That's what's really important. But do it while finishing well, being consistent. Here we go. Everything rises on and falls on leadership. So lead on purpose, lead with purpose. Okay. So let me read this article for you. I don't have the author. It's a great article, but no APA citations here. They didn't cite themselves. So I don't know who wrote this, but it's a good article. I did not write this. Here we go. Leadership. I've said this before. Some of you in the class, I'm probably going to go off on a tangent today because I'm big on this. But here's what the first sentence says. Leadership is about articulating visions, embodying values, and creating the environment in which all things can be accomplished. That's a great definition of leadership right there. Let me read that one more time. So I'm probably going to have you go back and write that. Leadership is about articulating visions, embodying values, and creating the environment in which all things can be accomplished. There's probably more that I would add to that definition, but that's not a bad definition of leadership right there, okay? And so the person who is given the mantle of leadership, the person who's given that task, that responsibility of leadership for the organization, that's their job. They've got to articulate the vision. I've talked about this before. I don't know if I've talked about yes, we started off the class by talking about this. PVM. And I'll go to my grave on this because I believe everything in your personal life, in your professional life, in your organization, and your team can be solved when you have this down. Your principles and your values, your purpose, your vision, your mission. And then as a leader, your job is to communicate that, to articulate that. Here's the purpose. Here's why we exist. Here's the vision. Here's where we're going. Here's the mission. Here's how we're going to get there. And while we're doing all this, here are principles and values. These are the things, our principles are our unwavering rules for life, for the business, for the organization. Our values are the behaviors we want to see that will help us achieve the mission, which will help us get to the vision, which will ensure that we are fulfilling our purpose. Okay. That's the job of a leader, to make sure that continue to happen. And what I've found is most people need leadership. They need someone to look to. They need something to look to. It's just how human nature is wired. Okay. Too much collaboration, I think, causes a lot of problems. There's got to be someone who the buck stops here. I'm the leader, and my job is to articulate these visions. Leaders cast, I'm reading here. Leaders cast the mission, vision, and values of a company through its people. They know how to effectively influence people and act as change agents that initiate growth. Leaders are innovators and creators. Now, I would differ with this a little bit with this article. It's a good article. And I chose it because there's a lot of good things that we can point out here. I would change. Yes, leaders can be innovators and creators, but I would say this. Leaders probably do more hiring of innovators and creators. Now, they have an innovative mindset for sure. Okay, great leaders do. But great leaders, sometimes some of the greatest leaders out there don't have any clue how to innovate, don't have any clue how to create, but they know how to hire great innovators. They know how to hire great creators. They know how to take care of them. They know how to lead them well. Principles, values, purpose, vision, mission. Okay. Here's one thing that is true about leaders. Leaders do not accept mediocrity, and they are always pushing the status quo. That is true. If you're a mediocre person, you are not a leader. I think maybe it's because I spent more time on the water today. I'm just feeling it tonight as I'm recording this. But this is true. If you're a mediocre person, get out of leadership now. You got no business being in leadership. If you're mediocre at what you do, if you're mediocre in your home, if you're mediocre with your kids, if you're mediocre with just your life, just look at yourself. You meet a mediocre person, you got no business being in leadership. Okay? Because here's the thing. Leaders never accept mediocrity. And I firmly believe that. Okay? People want to receive, people want to go and reach their full and highest potential. The only way they can do that is to have great leaders around them that push them forward, pushing the status quo. Do not settle for second best. That's the job of a leader. Commitment to leadership separates the doers from the dreamers. What does it look like to be committed to a project, a person, or an idea? That word commitment, that is huge. Consistency and commitment. Consistency and commitment. When is your commitment tested? How do you maintain commitment when something takes longer than expected or something is more difficult than anticipated? See, that'll preach in your personal life. It'll preach in your organizational life. You get what I'm saying here. To the marathoner, it's running another 10 miles when your strength is gone. To the soldier, it's going over the hill, not knowing what's waiting on the other side. To the leader, it's all that and more, because everyone you lead is depending on you. Man, that is so good. The secret to your success is determined by your daily agenda. How do you articulate your vision? Again, I think it starts with you on a personal level. That's why we're saying everything rises and falls in leadership. So lead on purpose. Okay. And there's two ways, or lead with purpose. And there's two ways to say it. You lead on purpose, which means you lead on the idea of purpose. You lead with the idea of purpose. And you lead on purpose, which means that you're leading on purpose. You're intentional. Okay. You're leading with purpose. You're intentional about how you approach the world, how you show up, how you communicate the PVM on a weekly basis to the people that you lead. Okay. So how do you articulate your vision? What does it mean to embody your values? How do you create an environment in which all things can be accomplished? Ask yourself, what am I doing to invest in myself? It starts with you. And what are you doing? Now, here's the deal. All of you are investing in this degree right here. That's why I don't have to talk about this because you're doing it right now. If this isn't just a YouTube video, right? You're investing in your future leadership. That's amazing to me. I'm so proud of all of you. I hope you'll take that from me. But then the question you have to ask is, what am I doing to invest in other people? Now, right now, your time is to invest in yourself. That's what's most important. You got to get this degree done. I'm having to tell myself that I've got a business that I'm trying to build, and it's not getting my attention and time, and it's not growing as quickly as I want. Why? Because I'm focusing on my own dissertation, my own doctorate. I'm not as great of a father as I want to be right now. Why? Because I'm focusing on and I have to constantly remind myself, hey, right now, I'm having to invest in myself. I've got to get this doctorate done. For you, it's your master's degree. You got to get it done. Now, once we get this done, then we have to turn, we got to turn the tables. And the next question is, what am I doing to invest in other people? Okay. It can't always be just about us. And so we got to cast our vision daily, develop yourself personally and professionals. As leaders, how do we cast vision daily? We must have unfiltered evaluation. I love this right here. Unfiltered evaluation. It's a form of respect and necessary if you want to succeed. Employees need to be able to communicate what's really happening in the world. So what does that mean by unfiltered evaluation? It means you've got to be able to have people tell you things without the filter on. It means you can't be a small, insecure, whiny leader. That's what it means. It means you can't be the kind of person who gets defensive every time somebody tells you something that you need to fix. Okay? Some of you have been in the class before. We've talked about this idea of radical truth, radical transparency. I think the whole world should be run this way. What a better world we live in if we could just tell it like it is, right? But it wouldn't work. Why? Because so many of us, we have deep insecurities and we wouldn't be able to hear it and receive it. And that's okay. Okay. That's the world we live in. But I think it would be amazing if we could just tell it like it is and no one get their feelings hurt, but we just get better. That would be incredible. It's not how human beings work, but to the best we can as leaders, this is what I say for leaders. It's different for all of us though. Okay. You cannot be a weak-minded person and be a leader. I firmly believe that. Okay. You've got to be able to empower unfiltered evaluation. That means people giving you feedback, telling you what they think, telling you what's happening in the world, telling you what's going on with the product, with the service from their perspective, and you're not getting all defensive about it. You're listening and you're learning. Okay. Then we can serve the needs of employees, helping them to accomplish our vision to exceed customer expectations in everything we do. Today matters. We over-exaggerate yesterday. We overestimate tomorrow, and we underestimate today. Remember, the secret of your success is determined by your daily agenda. We could talk about that all day. Right? Habits lead to success. Consistency, we talked about that already. Assume nothing, train and coach everything, above all, and inspect what you expect. So this is kind of a motivational little article there, but here's what my reminder to us is this: everything rises and falls on leadership. So we've got to lead with purpose. We've got to lead on purpose every single day. Okay? Every single day. Now, at the very beginning, so here are the questions. At the very beginning, I shared with you the definition that this author gave for leadership. Write that out. What is that definition? Okay? Just for, to make sure you have this. When I say PVPVM, what am I talking about? What are those four things? You can go back and you can listen to the podcast that's in there. Okay. When the author says, this is our third question, when the author says the secret to your success is determined by your daily agenda, the author says that twice. What does that mean? Okay. What does that mean? And then for our final question, do you agree? Do you agree with that term? Everything rises and falls on leadership. Now, you don't have to, okay? It's never, you can have your own opinion on this, all right? But just make sure you back it up, right? Do you agree with it? Why do you agree with it? If you don't agree with it, why don't you agree with it? All right? And that's all I got for you. Everything rises and falls on leadership. So lead with purpose, lead on purpose. I look forward to reading the answers to your questions. Everybody, take care. Again, we're in the home stretch. We're getting close to the home stretch. Stay strong. Let's stay at it. And I'm so proud of the work you're doing. I'll see you soon. Take care.